everybody can hear it. Okay. All right. Hi, my name is Jessica Culley, and I have been watching Disney movies ever since I was born. But it took me until last year to decide that Hunchback of Notre Dame was my favorite movie. And now I want to share with you guys why it should be your favorite movie. So, Hunchback of Notre Dame has a lot of murky themes that other Disney movies don't normally have, but it still provides its audience with a colorful cast of characters, deep emotional story, and wonderful music and animation. So, here's the first reason why you should watch this movie. I can use the clicker. The characters. Disney is very good at coming up with unique characters that we all love, and this movie is no exception. So first, I'm going to introduce you to our main characters. First, we have Quasimodo, the bell ringer, or the Hunchback of Notre Dame. He is a deformed young adult in his early 20s, and he's been living up in the bell tower of Notre Dame ever since he was a baby because his mother was killed. Next, we have Frollo. He is a judge and considers himself to be a holy man of God, which makes him dangerous. He sees corruption everywhere except within himself, and he constantly abuses Quasimodo emotionally by calling him a monster. Next, we have Esmeralda. She's not your typical Disney princess, as she's actually a gypsy. She's an outcast, but she's one of the first people to show Quasimodo any sort of kindness. Then we have Phoebus, the captain of the guard. He is your everyman, a good cop in a bad town, according to Stephen Rebello in The Art of Hunchback of Notre Dame. Then we have the side characters, who are side characters, but they're no less important. We have the gargoyles. We have Hugo, Laverne, and Victor. They reveal an important part of Quasimodo's character, states Rebello, and they are also a part of Quasimodo's imagination, so they only talk and move when he's with them. Then we have my favorite character, Clopin. He is actually the king of the gypsies, and he's the narrator of the story. While he's still the narrator, he also sings most of the songs in the movie, and he plays an important part in moving the plot along. So, for reason number 2 why you should watch this movie, we have the story and its morals. Disney took a very dark story and still managed to fill it with the same magic and joy that they add to their other films. The film is set in the 15th century Paris and is centered around the great Notre Dame Cathedral. The story begins with Clopin, the king of the gypsies, acting as the narrator, states Annalie Ward. Hunchback of Notre Dame centers around Quasimodo, who is literally put between heaven and hell, states Don Hahn, the producer of Hunchback of Notre Dame. And he says that Quasimodo is trapped up in the bell tower, and his dilemma is to get outside. Once he gets outside, he meets Esmeralda and Phoebus and the rest of the town, and all the while still being put down by Frollo. The takeaway from this movie is don't judge a book by its cover. Quasimodo considers himself to be a monster because of the way that Frollo, his master, has raised him and treated him his whole life. But once Quasimodo gets outside and meets Esmeralda, who is also an outcast much like himself, he realizes that not everybody thinks like Frollo, and she ends up becoming his friend. Roy Disney states that this movie contains a message of hope and joy and optimism, and shows that it's what's inside that counts. So, moving on to reason number 3 why you should watch this movie, the music and the animation. So I'm going to start with the music. The composer of this movie was Alan Menken. He also wrote music for Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, and a whole bunch of other Disney films. And he and the directors of Hunchback actually flew all the way to London to do a special recording session with the National English opera company, and they also got to use a 100-year-old pipe organ. According to Jason Alexander, Alan and Stephen Schwartz wrote 8 musical numbers for this movie. They also did the music for Pocahontas. So now we have the animation. This is my favorite part. So this movie came out in 1996, and CGI was still kind of a new thing with Disney. Jason Alexander stated that the animators wanted big Ben-Hur-like crowds to flood the streets of Paris. And this was actually the first animated film to have a huge choreographed live action like fight scenes. And it helped give the scene and the whole movie the feeling of a vast multitudes of people. So these are all animated CGI characters, not that one, these 3. So the background and layout animators actually wanted to make the movie and the town feel claustrophobic. They wanted a no way out sort of feel. So to achieve this, they mixed the large multitudes of people and increased the height of Notre Dame to about 7 stories, which is a lot taller than it is in real life. The result they got was that they enhanced the weight and presence of Notre Dame and gave it the feel that they wanted to portray to the audience. So, in conclusion, Disney took a dark story and was able to shed that Disney magic on it and gave us an exciting adventure of beautiful characters, story, music, and animation for its audience to enjoy. So, if you're interested in watching this, you can find it on Netflix. I looked it up on iTunes. You can rent it for $2.99, or you can find it at Walmart for about $10. And if you really, really want to watch it right now and you don't have Netflix, I have a spare copy that I'm willing to lend out. Okay, and with that, I leave you with one final thought via a clip from the movie. If I can get it to work this time. Come on.
Please, I'm free to guess it.